Broad daylight on Yukon Valley is not something we've seen a whole lot of as of late, spending so much time on the Grizzly Bear grind before dawn and just into the early morning hours trying to get an albino gold grizzly. But today we're out here in multiplayer, and my theory is essentially that just being on the map is always going to give us a chance at maybe finding something like that to accomplish our goal, but there's so much more that Yukon offers, and because we've been spending so much time specifically focused on grizzlies lately, I wanted to switch it up and see what else we could find today. And not a bad start, although perhaps not the best since he is fleeing. A pretty good size moose max weight estimate, and I think that might make it tough because we have the 7mm. I thought it would be fun to not bring a really powerful weapon today, so no 300, no 338, just the 7mm Empress, and it would appear as though we got a lung shot, so pretty happy with that. I thought for a second that might have been a level 1 moose, which actually would have been more appealing to me, but yeah, we'll take a max weight to get started here. It is a lower end max weight, probably in the area of 545 or 550 kg, 551 to be exact, but left lung at 160 on the trot with the 7mm. And just to kind of go through the loadout real quick, we of course have the 7mm for all the big game. We have the 454 as well, which I'm not sure if we'll get to use it. Normally for this particular loadout that would be a good wolf gun, but wolves in multiplayer are bugged. They don't go aggressive ever, so I don't think that's going to help us much. And then we have some normal weapons, 243 and 22 to round it out. Now that's not a bad looking caribou, up to 393 on that guy. That's one of my favorite things about Yukon as well. Even when hunting for moose or maybe other species that are drinking, a lot of times you do see caribou or random red fox, grizzly bear that'll roam through. Like, there's a lot of times you can encounter animals that are maybe not the main target. I would say it's maybe a little bit different when grinding for grizzly bear because it's a little bit dark and maybe you don't notice those things as much. But that's always nice, and I'm kind of just now realizing it may be a while before we get over there and get to claim it, but I believe that'll be a solid gold caribou. Running a kilometer to claim an animal that was shot 150 meters away is a bit unfortunate. Starting to snow here as well, which I'm really a big fan of. 333 for that guy. Actually didn't make gold by as much as I thought, but it was a guarantee with a minimum of 314. But yeah, 186 meter shot. In order to run down and around there, you can see the end of the water. About 560 meters away, it really was about a kilometer run, but especially since it's snowing, I was kind of planning on doing this anyway. I want to scoot down through this area. I think there's going to be a fair bit of resting grizzly bear, maybe resting red fox, and I think with the snow, the contrast is really going to allow us to maybe spot those things in the distance, in addition to maybe just running across tracks as we go. Now that is one thing that we're kind of after, so a lot of times mating calls are from traveling animals. We're kind of at the end of moose drink time. Not an impressive one, but I mean, we're heading that way. Maybe we can get a shot at him. As long as he doesn't start to trot, which of course he's going to as soon as he gets into that opening. We'll have to try to scoot up a little closer. I mean, at this point we might as well go 454. Might be our only chance to do so. I hope that I got the hardcast bullets because we were using the hollow points for gator hunting. I never even saw him move. Oh, we did drop him. It must have been a hard shot, which I don't think the hollow points could have done, so I'm going to assume at least we equipped the correct ammo for today. A little late to find out, but it was the hardcast hard shot at 70 meters. Well, I'd say that makes carrying the 454 in today's loadout worth it already. Ooh. Did not expect that to run out of there. We're on the trail of what is probably a medium-sized fox, anywhere from level 5 to level 7. And I just expected that to be another, smallish grizzly bear. That's normally what happens if we do have one run by, but definitely nice to see a level 8. I don't know if we can get a shot that felt like it should have been about right. And of course, it's going to take him a long time to start to drop regardless, being that the 7mm's a bit underpowered. He is going down, though. This happens a lot. It's just occurring to me because I was about to say, because we had that with the moose at the beginning, and now with the grizzly, Like, the 7mm is doing incredibly well, but for whatever reason, when we carry the 7mm, we end up taking a fair few, maybe riskier shots or shots on the run, stuff like that. And always it seems to be the case that it just does well. It's just intuitive. I don't know how else to describe it, but that was pretty cool. I'd like to get that fox. That is going to be him right there, a level 2 beside it. But I mean, for one, to use the 243, and also because that was part of the reason we came over here, that shot was not quite as good. He'll probably slow back down. It's been a long time since I've kind of done the Red Fox grind, but the way that it tends to go is they maybe kind of trot faster for 50 meters and then slow right back down. And again, because we are in multiplayer and I don't want to get kicked for adding too much hunting pressure, we'll not try to get that female wherever it got to. As for our male, he was a 9 score and a liver shot. I kind of thought the shot might have been far back, but maybe being a combo of stomach and liver was the reason he insta-dropped, and of course liver counts as vital, so we got the full medal for his silver. But I'm far more interested in seeing what happened on this Grizzly. It almost had to be like lung, liver, stomach to drop that fast. That is exactly what it was, left lung, liver, and stomach. Shot was maybe a bit far back, 64.7, not too bad, about 2 shy of diamond. But technically speaking, outside of a hard shot, that's about as well as we could have done with the 7mm. Maybe a neck shot would have been in that same tier as the hard shot being better, but not too bad. Again, it's just, I can't explain it, but it happens often enough that I think it's something to do with the 7mm being intuitive as far as lead and bullet drop and just all that stuff. You know, I always used to find it so interesting. About a year ago when doing the Diamond Red Fox grind, it seemed like a good 75% or maybe higher of the Red Foxes that we got in single player were silvers or below, but anytime that I would come into multiplayer, I would find a gold pretty reliably. And again, for the sake of not causing hunting pressure, we'll let that one go, and with this one being level 7, it is a guaranteed gold, and just an interesting little thing that I kind of noticed through hunting them. An 11.1 gold as well. Not half bad. Hard shot that guy on the trot. And, ooh. Maybe we go and track that. I wanted to come up here into the dead forest, even though that wolves really don't charge in multiplayer at all. You can still spot them in the distance. I think that's my ideal. Because what happens is, if you do alert them, because I don't even think they flee, I'm pretty sure regardless, they just kind of stand still. And that's obviously not ideal, but if they're in the distance, resting, feeding, whatever, it's not that same feeling where they're just literally stuck. So there's still a chance to find something cool that way and not have it feel like it's not as special since it's stuck there. Well, it didn't take very long, but unfortunately, he is about the same size as the one that we got at the beginning, kind of bottom end of the max weight estimate, but I think we're best off alerting him, and in an ideal world we get a heart shot here and don't have to track him. That will do for the heart shot portion, and that'll prevent us from having to track him at all. And right as we kind of got up here, there was a warning call from a gray wolf, which unfortunately probably means it's just going to be sitting still somewhere down to the left where it called from. We'll still give it a look and see what it was, but as for our moose, actually he was an uneven one, it looks like. Pretty sure this side's a little bit bigger, 221.7 though, right at the bottom end of his score estimate. And by the way, this is just what you see. At least in my experience. Maybe some multiplayer servers don't have this issue, but they kind of just get stuck. Now there we go. Level 9 that is not stuck. That is exactly what I wanted to see. Rare would have been cool as well, but this is different than normal. I think we need to take the shot on the walk. That should do just fine, and the reason I say that is because if we scooted forward, is that a moose? Making sure it's not an egg white wolf, that is the back of a moose, but if we scooted forward and alerted him, I think we run the risk of him just being stuck, and it's not something I want to have happen. We shot a melanistic level 7 wolf one of the last times that we hunted Yukon multiplayer, and frankly, even though it was very cool, it's just not as special when they're stuck like this. It just can't have the same vibe about it, but preventing the fact that they get stuck like that by shooting the level 9 before he was just standing still. I don't know, it feels more legit. I don't know if that makes any sense. In my head it does anyway, and I guess that's what's most important, but 37 to 39 estimate, that is far from guaranteed, but diamond is 39, so anything in that range will work. Fingers crossed. 38.9 though at a 75 kg. He must be so close. He must be like 38.98, 0.99, something like that. Bit of a bummer. Nice to see at max level, and I'm proud of the fact that we spotted him in the distance and got him that way. Just, you know, had he been a little bit bigger, that would have been nice. Definitely a bit of a bummer after we had a level 9 wolf, but it appears as though our hunt is going to end with a level 6 red fox male. Now, it's about 300 meters. It's gonna be a tough shot, so I think the move is try to alert him with the 22, because his head's gonna block any vital hit anyway at that angle. I'd like a broadside shot. I think we can do that, but I think we're going to get something a little bit more ideal if we just are patient with it. It may take a moment, and we may have to shoot through some brush. Of course, he chose the one spot that we can't really see. I mean, he's more like 280 now. That angle's decent enough, I think, to kind of drop a shot into the lungs with the 243. We could have sat here and waited. I don't know how close he would have gotten, but in my experience, they usually rest right around that area, so I don't think he was getting a whole lot closer, and in the past, a resting red fox at that range is no big deal. They kind of would sit up and really present a decent opportunity at a vital hit, but now they do kind of lay flat on their side, and it makes it tough to get a shot, so I wanted to make sure that we did that before he was resting, and it definitely worked out. Not that the risk was that big with him being just a level 6. So now, at the end of the day, we have a silver red fox, pretty low score for the weight. 9.95 kg definitely could have been gold, but he is well below at 9.7. And, close with the gray wolf to having some kind of trophy, but trolled and obviously getting nowhere with a rare grizzly, but it was nice to get out here and not be grinding and not hunting at night. Just to enjoy the map, and at least getting to see a max level is always fun and kind of gets the adrenaline going. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.